Hey guys, it's Derek here. So, we recently hit 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and I would honestly like to just thank everyone who's helped contribute to this point for watching the videos, liking, commenting, sharing, using links in the description, and showing interest in just videos that I put out. As a little thank you to everyone, we are going to go and do a little Q&A. So you can ask me all the questions you want. I have everything on the phone here, and we're just gonna go through and try to get through as many of these as possible. You guys left quite a few questions for me this time. Our first question is from Liz. Just the beginning, why you started collecting. Now, I mainly started collecting because it was just something fun to do. It was one of the things that my cousin used to do way back when we were younger, but he started collecting things like Power Rangers, Lego, and I guess those habits just kind of passed on to me. I didn't really start collecting figures until much later. Before this, it was mainly Gundam. I would say it's probably because of my cousin. Our next question is from Angie, and they're asking us, have you seen the One Piece Run figures by Mega House? And if so, do you plan to collect any? Congrats on 10K. Thank you. I have seen them. The Run line does look really good in terms of how the sculpt looks, but the major thing that I don't like about the line is all the use of rods to prop everyone up. Some figures have one or two, and it kind of really just takes away from the line altogether. Personally, I'm gonna pass on the line, but if they do clean it up in the future and make it much more seamless so you don't see the support rod, I might consider getting some. So we're more or less just going alphabetically down the list right now, and the next person we have is Owl. Hey, you made it. Thank you. Did you talk about the neon sign in your videos, or did I miss it? If not, could you go over it? I think I have talked about this in the past for my room reno video, but we'll go over it again briefly. This is a custom neon sign from neonsigns.com. They actually sent this out to me to take a look at a while back, and honestly, it's pretty sick. It's about, I believe it's 60 inches, so about 5 feet tall, and everything lights up. We kind of went with a theme that resembled like an opening sign or open sign. That's the kind of vibe I wanted to go with. It does have a dimmer and a remote, but you also get things like all the hardware to actually put it up. So drywall anchors and whatnot, but I kind of just put it into studs because it's a bit of a heavy piece. Yeah, it reads Kaizoku wo ore wa naru in kanji. Decided to go with kanji because it matched with the manga panel that I was referencing better, and yeah, it's from One Piece. Next up, we have a question / comment from Arswing. Congrats on 10K. So thank you, brother. Appreciate it. What an awesome milestone. Hopefully we keep on growing. What One Piece scene would you love to see as a resin? As a resin, I mean, that's very specific. A specific scene. I would love to see the Drum Island scene where Chopper is pulling the sled through the sky with all the Straw Hats on there. I think that'd be an interesting scene. I don't think I've seen a resin of it yet, and if it's done well, I think it would probably sell well, or I'd probably get it. Birthday 5238 asks, if someone is looking to downsize their collection, what would you recommend they should use to sell their figures? MFC, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, through in-person stores, etc. Let's see. If we're trying to downsize, I've kind of done this myself a little bit. I would recommend using Facebook Marketplace as your number one option, just because you kind of avoid fees and things like that. Most of the time, people will, hand you cash if you do specify, or e-transfer if you're into that. And I think it's one of the better options just because you don't have to go and ship things. That's kind of a hassle. All right. Diamando Frame 47 asks, did creating content help you in other aspects of your life? I would say so. Mainly the adaptability portion. Like, I've been able to learn things on my own. Like, honestly, everything that we film here is all self-taught. The lighting, the rigging for the mics, the, editing, thumbnails, all of that. I think having a hobby that makes you grow and learn is helpful. I think it helped a little bit. DMTV14 asks, are you bothered at all with poor paint job on Funko Pop collectibles? What do you do when you get a bad one, and do you try fixing them or just return and buy again, or accept and try to ignore the imperfections? Honestly, the Funko Pops you have seen in videos aren't really mine. They're actually my girlfriend's, and yeah, she's the one who collects all the Funko Pops here. I just kind of live vicariously through her. And she primarily keeps them all in the box anyways, so it's not too big of an issue. But when we do pick up Funko Pops together, we typically do it in person. Nothing really gets shipped to us for Funkos, so we do get to examine and see which one has a better paint job and then choose from there. So hopefully that answers your question. Next question's from Elisa. First off, congratulations. Thank you. What's a One Piece figure you love to see made that hasn't been yet? Ooh. This is an easy one. I would love to see a Sailing Again Maximum of Sanji. Something with double jambe or, just more fiery effects. Just because I feel like out of the big three, the big trio, he's the one who gets the least amount of love. I think the last figure, other than the Osoba mask that we got, was actually the wedding outfit one. Yeah, that wasn't the greatest. Yeah, I would love a Sailing Again Maximum, or just a maximum version of Sanji. Next question we have here is from Emmy. First off, congratulations. Thank you. May you continue thriving on, and away. All right. Are you planning to treat yourself? Ooh, that is a good question. I mean, for 10K, I don't really think I would treat myself just yet. I think the next milestone will be either 25 or 100 when I treat myself, just because I feel like we've done good, but not good enough yet, if that makes any sense. Next up, we have a question from Ivy. Hey, Ivy. Yeah, it seems like you're running out of space for figures, but have you been slowing down on pre-ordering figures and new resins? Also, what pre-orders are you most excited for this year? To answer the first question, yes, we are slowing down. Made a video talking about it a little bit. We are trying to be more selective with our choices this year. Pick only the best of the best, and that's mainly because of limited space. If I had more space, I'd pick up a ton more figures, resins, and everything else in between. So yes, we are slowing down just a little bit. As for my most anticipated and excited for figure this year, I mean, at this point, it might just be the Uta Maximum that we've pre-ordered. I think that's gonna be a really cool figure to have in the collection. Just, expanding the One Piece side of the collection more. Realized I have 2 display cases full of waifus, primarily, and then just the one for One Piece. So we're gonna try to work on One Piece a little bit more, find some fun, maybe some obscure things, but we're gonna add to One Piece stuff. We have a few questions from Jacob up next, so let's see. Number 1, what's your criteria on whether or not you should buy an anime figure? Primarily just go off of feel. Like, everything kind of factors into it, but number 1, whether or not I like the design and pose. Obviously, I would have to like the anime character quite a bit, and the price. There have been times where the price has completely scared me off of a figure, and I just kind of keep it on like the back burner. If that ever bins, I'll pick that up then. What's your first ever figure you've ever gotten? And if you still have it with you, what's the condition? My first ever anime figure that I've bought with my own money, I believe, was the Filmzy Zoro from Mega House. It's a portrait of pirate figure from way back when they weren't really doing pre-orders or making everything limited. So they just kind of made a whole bunch of them, and I think they overproduced. So I managed to pick mine up for about 90 bucks. So that's my very first figure I've ever gotten, and it's sad to say, but I've actually sold that off like a year or 2 now ago. It's not in the collection anymore, but when it was still in the collection, it was in perfectly good condition. We have other Zoros now. That's mainly why it's not here. They're also asking, what's the most expensive figure / resin statue you own in your collection? My most expensive probably is the Jimmy Whitebeard. That cost so much to ship up here. It's an absolute unit of a statue. It's well over 100 pounds. And honestly, looking back at it, I'm really surprised I was able to manage to move him around and box him in this tiny little room. That's my number 1. Most expensive one. Last question here. Out of all the hobbies you do, like custom keyboards, figure collecting, etc., if you were asked to only continue pursuing one hobby and the rest would be dropped, what would that hobby be? I mean, out of all my hobbies, I'd probably drop everything and just still be an anime figure collector. And if you said I can't do that, I'd probably go back to collecting things like Pokemon cards. Pokemon Zeta A! It's Legend Zeta. I'm probably gonna play that, and if it comes out on like the Switch too, I'm gonna have to buy the console just to play the game. But yeah, expect to see some of that kind of content on the channel whenever the heck that comes out. Moving on to Juan. Any tips for someone who wants to start uploading unboxing videos? My biggest piece of advice, even though it sounds incredibly cliche, would be to just start. You don't know what you don't know, if that makes any sense. So it's gonna be a huge learning curve in the beginning, but try not to get too discouraged there. And if views, like the viewing numbers, aren't crazy in the beginning, you just gotta push through it. You just gotta do it. You just gotta power through it. So good luck, and if you do make a channel and start uploading, respond back to that comment, and I'll go check things out. LB_collector asks, favorite character and favorite arc in One Piece? My favorite character in One Piece definitely has to be Chopper. Funny enough, the channel name is more or less based off of him, if you haven't picked up on that. Dr. Tony Chopper, DTT. See? Or we can change it like Derek tries to collect or something. I don't know. I love Chopper. He's super cute, has a tragic backstory. He's just always there when you need him. Hopefully they make more figures of him for Mega House. I would definitely like to pick up more of that, but I'd also like to see other forms. If they ever do make a monster point from Mega House, a POP of that, like a maximum of that, picking up right away. And for my favorite arc in One Piece, I mean, Wano was really good, but I think it still has to be the Water 7 arc. It kind of has the Water 7 and Enies Lobby. I believe those two are connected still. Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of things going on. The first time we see a few different forms, our favorite heroes, or our main characters get to fight through some adversity. So that's one of the more hype moments in One Piece for me. We're slowly making our way through everything. So next question is from Lynn77. Hi, Lynn. Favorite anime this season? Definitely has to be Frieren. Frieren? Characters are really cute, really fun. The humor is good, and the action and animation are top notch. I mean, the story isn't quite like, I don't know, as cliche and epic as you would think, but it feels more meaningful this way. And definitely go check it out, guys, if you haven't watched it. Marchwell asks, how many Rem figures do you own? Yeah, good question. How many do I own? Let's go count real quick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We will skip the Rams. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, not one, 29, 30, and 31, and 32. We have quite a few. Another good and burning question we have here is from Melina. They're asking, where do you stand on the bare-legged bunny debate? For me, I'm very much in the stocking camp. I believe that freeing bunnies do need them, and bare-legged bunnies are a good option and alternative if you miss the first one, but seeing as how freeing quality isn't the greatest, I like having the stocking there to kind of cover up some of those imperfections and usually lack of shading that they have. Next question is from Mig Pedin. Very spiffy suit, by the way. Nice profile picture. Do you think resin is more worth it than PVC, since it can be more detailed? More worth it. I mean, it really just comes down to your preference at the end of the day. Do you want one really, really cool thing, or like 5 or 6 also cool things but just smaller scale or size? In terms of like the quality, everything is manufactured in China for the most part. All the factories are pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. It really comes down to what you like that in that sense. I personally like having officially licensed resin statues as my main thing, but to each their own. Not gonna pronounce your name this time either. Congratulations. Have you ever felt burnt out for making and uploading YouTube videos? Yeah, I have felt burnt out in the past. You can definitely see it in my uploading frequency. If there's large gaps in between, that probably means I'm just taking a break, or sometimes I will update you guys and say I'm actually sick, because that apparently has been happening more often. It's not a great feeling being burnt out. It does take a bit of time to recover from, but I feel like we're in a good state right now. So we're gonna try to get as many things out and film as many things as possible in a sustainable way though. Thanks for asking. Do I like cheesecake? No, I don't like cheesecake. oh yeah. Yeah, well, I'll give me some of that. Oh yeah. I love it. We got a comment here from Neil Cordova. Congratulations, Derek. Happy for you, man. Thank you. 2 more figure content. Cheers. Are there still characters that you are looking forward to getting as a figure? I mean, I still think I stand by this. I would like a POP, so like a 1/8 scale Hyori. I think I asked for one before in the 5K video, and we got like a $2,000 one that they tried to give us. I believe it was a 1/4 scale with real kimono fabric, but I don't like Hyori that much. I like her enough to pay for like a $200-ish to $300 figure, but we ain't going any higher than that. So please give me an affordable Hyori figure from One Piece. Pia1032 asks, what's your favorite Pokemon game? I mean, my first ever Pokemon game was yellow version. I didn't get the blue or the red. I got yellow, and I remember remember not knowing how to use the save function, so I got all the way to the Lieutenant Surge. I basically got to Lieutenant Surge on 3 different playthroughs before I learned how to freaking save the game. So I don't know if I'd give it to Yellow, but I definitely like playing Pokemon Crystal. We're gonna go with Pokemon Crystal. Good story, it felt right, and it's one of the games I still actually have physically. I lost Yellow, so we're gonna go with Pokemon Crystal. We got 2 questions from Rukia here. First off, what razors do you use to cull your list when there are too many figures to buy? I would have to kind of go through my brain again and see whether or not I really do want that figure. And then I also have to look at the price again and see if I can eat that month. And aside from pricing and shipping costs, is there anything you enjoyed or liked about the old figure market that are absent today? Probably have to say just the ease of access to things. You were able to pick up something that has been released for a while and not be completely gouged for it. I feel like there's been so many more people coming into the hobby, and there's only so many copies of older figures, so that's kind of driven up the price for a lot of different things and accessibility in general, I guess. We got another pair of questions here from Swordboax. Hello. You're making a time capsule and you can only put 3 things in it. What 3 things are you putting in there? I'm probably putting volume 1 of One Piece in there. Secondly, I'd put a mechanical watch of some sort. And the last thing, probably put like a Twinkie in there, because that'd probably last like 100 years. Next question from them is, if you can acquire 1 life-size figure, so 1-to-1 scale, what would it be and where would you put it? I'm glad you had this question. I've actually already thought about this, and this already almost became a possibility many times, but I've talked myself out of it. I wanted to pick up a 1-to-1 scale of Tony Chopper. Now, I believe there was a company, like a resin company called like XYZ or something. Don't remember it off the top of my head, but they made 1-to-1 scale choppers and they were super adorable. I wanted to get that one. I held off for a bit because it was like in the middle of COVID and, you know, funds were a little tight, so didn't want to pick that up just yet. Waited a little bit longer and then the price like doubled. So if they ever do make another one, I will definitely pick it up. Also, I'd put it in the living room, like right next to the TV, but kind of give it its own space, away from like sunlight, of course, but it'd be proudly displayed in my home. Proudly. We're making our way down the alphabet. We're at T now. So the Joey785 asks, how often do you dust your figures? How long does it take? Not often enough. For this shelf here, it's probably once every 2-ish months. And honestly, anything that is behind glass that is dust proof, I haven't dusted once, if we're being completely honest. I budget about an hour. I kind of lose track though, but I would say probably about an hour to just do this section right here. It could be more though. The Lazy Lefty asks, what are your favorite statues that you do not own and want? Also, congrats on 10K. Thank you. I got two. They're both from Sume. First one is the Shanks. I would love to have gotten the Shanks at some point, just because that is the last Yonko that I'm missing to fill out the 4 set. And I don't know if Jimmy's gonna make a Shanks anytime soon. That's number 1. And number 2, it would have to be their Zoro. I believe it's their HQ Plus or HQS. I forget the distinction for it, but it's him doing like the Tatsumaki on Fishman Island with a giant tornado thing in the back. Looks super sick. I would love to have that. I haven't really seen one on sale, so I think whoever got those just kept them for themselves, but those are the 2. Tranquil is asking us, what is one character that you would love a figure of that doesn't exist? I mean, I would love to see more choppers in outfits. Give me a Kaido one, because you already have the Whitebeard, the Roger, and the Shanks. So maybe a Kaido version of Chopper. I don't know if I'd want the Big Mom version. I'd take a Blackbeard version too. Maybe more dress up versions of Chopper. Let's continue that line. I'd collect crap out of it. Trash Can Man Zero is asking us, what other characters are in licensing hell? Also, what other characters would you personally consider getting a resin for? That's a tough one. I feel like most things are getting released nowadays, so you don't really have to worry too much. At least any of the series that I'm interested in. So, as for characters I'd personally want to get a resin for, Shanks is really on the top of the list there. Would love to get one. Add him to the Yonko collection, just so I can finish off the 4 and then know that I have the 4 completely done. Probably cost an arm. Tyler24 is asking us a rather personal question, apparently. I've been wanting to ask you this for quite some time. Not sure if this is a touchy subject or not. Where in the world did you put your One Piece resin statues? I see you kept Eneru on your dresser, but all the other ones have vanished from your room? Question mark. they're all in storage. Just because I got rid of the storage rack that I used to have on this side, so I couldn't display any more resin statues. Just because they're so heavy. Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, they're all about 100 pounds each, so you needed a super heavy duty one. It was just kind of impeding space at that point, so I had to get rid of that. So I put the rest of them all back in their boxes, just so it's a little bit easier on me for when I eventually move. I won't tell you guys the move date because I don't really know the move date either. So we'll find out together. I'll probably make a little series of the move and everything, showcase the move and everything whenever that happens. I'm excited to show that off. Yeah, don't worry. They're still in the collection somewhere. They're just not on display. Walker Texas Gamer 5113 asks, what is the best concert you've ever been to? Fun question. It's between One Ok Rock, which was really, really fun. My first real rock concert. There were no seating and the venue sucked, but the concert was great. Knew all the songs, felt wonderful. The atmosphere was good. So that's highly up there. Number 2 is probably Taeyang. Taeyang, when he came here for the White Night tour, I got the merch. I was so close to him. I could like feel his presence. I think I was 2-3 rows back, 4 rows back. I don't know. It felt like he was right here. He was singing directly at me. It was great. One of those two. I can't pick a favorite out of those two. It's one of those two. All right, I believe we're at our final 2 questions. Don't know how to pronounce this, so we're just gonna read the question off. Who is your favorite waifu besides Rem and Ram? I don't know if they're spelled correctly. I haven't watched ReZero yet. Don't worry, you spelled them correctly. Favorite waifu outside of those two? Probably have to say Boa from One Piece. We did a unboxing video for her last week. The personality for a waifu that I particularly like is your ride or die types. And Boa is definitely ride or die for Luffy, and that's great to see. Same thing with Ren. But that's definitely the type that I gravitate towards the most. And the last question for our 10K Q&A goes to Mr. Zuko. Hey Zuko. He's asking, what's a figure that everyone loves but you aren't a fan of, or you just don't get the hype? We're definitely gonna anger some people here. I think that'd have to be the Albedo freeing figure. I mean, I understand, you know, sexy Succubus fans might like that. The fact that it's a cast off, I felt like it felt really unnecessary. If I remember correctly, I believe freeing has a subdivision that does like 18A figures anyways, so it's just a little weird seeing that freeing bunny get the cast off treatment. I don't think the rest of them are gonna get it from Overlord, so just an odd choice. I don't get it. Also, the price is incredibly expensive. Likewise, what's a figure you love that most people don't? Definitely have to say it's the E-Stream Rem. She definitely got a bit of flack when she first came out. Things were breaking off. People were saying the packaging wasn't good. She wasn't worth all the hype, all the money. Personally, mine turned out perfectly fine. And if anything wrong did happen to her, it was self-inflicted. Like, it didn't really come from E-Stream themselves. Could the price be a little bit lower? Probably. But for a first product, I think they did a pretty good job. Like, I've seen some much worse figure offerings from manufacturers who've done premium figures for a lot longer. E-Stream Rem, Crystal Dress Rem. That's my pick. And there we have it. The 10K Q&A video is done. It probably was a little bit longer than one of my typical videos, but I love talking to you guys, reading all your comments. I try to respond to every single one of them regardless, but this was a fun way so I could just do it on camera, and hopefully you felt a little bit more of a connection that way. But thanks as always for liking the video, commenting all the time, using the links and whatnot, supporting me that way. Hopefully we'll continue to grow this even more and more, and we will hit 25K sooner than we all think. Hopefully. My name's Derek, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.